Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 3 of our F1 2019 Haas Road to Glory career mode, where today we're here at the Chinese Grand Prix. If you guys are new around here, like I always say, make sure you do get yourself subscribed. I'm planning on trying to get China and Baku out today, and then probably as we move into next week it'll drop down to single uploads per day. But yeah, hopefully you guys are still enjoying this series, heading on into round 3 of the World Championship. If you missed out on the Bahrain Grand Prix, it was a catastrophe at the end of the day. I would highly recommend, if you haven't watched any of the previous videos, go and watch Australia. That one's probably a little bit of a better showing for ourselves. But yeah, moving on though into the Chinese Grand Prix. Really excited for this weekend. Hopefully we can make amends after Bahrain and just see where we can end up at the end of this Grand Prix weekend. But yeah, looking forward to heading back to Shanghai once again. We got a few messages coming in ready for this one, a few goals updates, and sadly the front downforce wing flaps upgrade has failed, which, wonderful. It's our very first upgrade and it's already gone wrong. You'd love to see it. So let's try and get that one sorted over the course of this Grand Prix weekend, ready for next time out at Baku. But yeah, let's wait and see about that one. I have already put some upgrades onto like the quality control and everything like that, so I'm a bit surprised that one has failed, but I guess we'll roll with it and try and continue on. 225 points to get that one sorted. Very frustrating indeed. But anyway, moving on though into free practice, even I should say, for this weekend's Grand Prix. Quite excited for this one. It'll be interesting to see if we can pick up some good points. And overall, free practice ran okay, I guess. We got some good, program scores. I think we got like 200 points overall, just over, at the end of the day. So, we can take that from free practice. You can see 205 points at the end of the session. And still our reputation with Haas dropping ever so slightly there. Not too sure what that was all about. But yeah, hopefully we can continue on. The races are where it really matters on this game. I always feel it's a bit strange that it comes across like practice and quali is sort of balanced the same as the race. But yeah, we do get the upgrade sorted as well. They're ready for the rest of this Grand Prix weekend. But yeah, like I was saying, it's very strange. It's come across since, F1 2016. Like all 3 sessions are weighted equally. But anyway, skipping on from that, let's move on then into the Chinese Grand Prix qualifying.
Welcome to Shanghai, China, for what I've no doubt is going to be a fantastic F1 qualifying session. Drivers tend to complain about tyre wear around this track, and the compounds on offer this weekend aren't likely to put that issue to bed. Is this going to be about who can make the tyres last?
Tyre wear is always something you have to consider to a certain degree. Finding a good car balance that suits the circuit will help prolong the life of the tyre. But it's true that some circuits, such as this one, are more challenging than others. How hard you can push them depends on your strategy and how tight the battle is around you.
A little bit of a weird, buggy bit there on F1 2019. Hopefully that isn't going to continue. But yeah, we are then ready for qualifying here at the Bahrain Grand Prix. And after Bahrain, where it was still effectively a one-shot qualifying session, I really did want to try and build up some consistency heading on into this Grand Prix. So yeah, 1 minute 35.2 in Q1 there. We only needed to do the one lap, and we would, just to be fair, scrape it through into Q2, but we would get through into the second session there. Romain Grosjean, Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris just ahead of myself. Alexander Albon squeezes through us. Both Alfa Romeos, both Williams, and the Toro Rosso of Danny Kvyat unfortunately miss out heading on into qualifying 2. So we made it through into Q2 for the first time this season. I can certainly be very happy with that one. But I have made some, interesting setup choices this weekend, it's safe to say. I'm really focusing on trying to build up the setups, even I should say, for the race pace over qualifying. And I'll be honest, it was struggling on 1 lap pace on the whole. 1 minute 35.4 in Q2, and sadly we just didn't have enough time to go out again. Unfortunately, we got held up trying to go out on our second lap there, which was really frustrating. P14 at that stage of the session, if I'm not mistaken, we would end up staying in P14. They're a little bit disappointed with that one, but only just under 4 tenths off my teammate Romain Grosjean. And like I said, the AI tend to go for a bit more qualifying based setups. They seem very strong in the qualifying sessions so far this season, so we'll take that one and we'll continue on. Obviously what matters is the race. There's no points for qualifying, so yeah, we'll wait and see as to how we fare in the Chinese Grand Prix.
It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. We're here in Shanghai. We're here in the Yangtze River Delta today, home of the 16 corners that make up the Shanghai International Circuit. 54% of this 3.3-mile lap is taken at full throttle, and we'll be getting up to speeds of around 200 miles an hour, with DRS assisting the cars down the back straight before they brake into the sharp hairpin at turn 14. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, the surface looks clean enough, but I'm a little bit worried about the track temperature. It's pretty cool out there, which could give some teams difficulties when it comes to keeping their tyres in the right operating window. The cars out there that work their tyres hard and really put a lot of energy through them, they'll be the ones that are better off.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Gasly, Max Verstappen and Perez, Butler, Ricciardo, Weber and Roman Grosjean, Sainz, Albon, Charles Leclerc, they've taken a grid penalty, Mr. Monaco, Norris, Raikkonen, George Russell and Daniel Kvyat. Kubica and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid, and with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
So starting a little bit lower than I personally would have liked, but still plenty of time to move ourselves up into the points. I would like, like I've said in the past, to be a bit more of a consistent point scorer. And coming into the Chinese Grand Prix, I thought I'd change up the strategy just a little bit here. I didn't really want to try the one-stop again after what happened at Bahrain. Both the mediums and the hard compound tyres really just seem to fall off a bit of a cliff when they get up towards the higher end of the wear. So I was going to try and go for a bit of an interesting track strategy this weekend. I was going to go for a double soft stint at the end of the Grand Prix, because for those of you guys that have sort of raced around China before, you'll know just how much quicker the soft tyres are over everything else around this place. So I was thinking, if over, half the race distance, if we can make up a pit stop, potentially it could work out. But we'll wait and see about that. The 5 lights are now on here at the Chinese Grand Prix, and it's lights out. And away we go there. Clearly no time wasted. Someone wants to be down the pub before this race is over there. You can see coming in towards turn 1. Don't get the best run once again. The AI very, very good on their starts on F1 2019 there. Lando Norris tries to have a look around the outside, but we're going to hold the tight line up towards the curb, and we're going to be able to slip up the inside of both Alexander Albon and Charles Leclerc there. Really, really happy with that one as we try to get the run on the exit of the corner there. A bit of a fishtail as we try to get the power down around the outside of the Toro Rosso man. Now, are we going to be able to make the move work? Yes, we do. We have a look up the inside of Carlos Sainz as well. No love lost between the pair. It's a bit of a robust move, if I do say so myself, but we've made it work, and that is the most important thing as we now head in towards the next couple of corners. Trying to close it to the teammate Roman Grosjean here as we try, just struggling a little bit with the grip off at the start, just getting those tyres and brakes up to temperature here. And 1 lap later, we would now be all over the back of my teammate here. You can see a little bit of a breakaway going on just up the road there between the Renaults, the Force Indias, and the big 3 teams as well there. So not ideal. We do definitely need to get past my teammate here. It's safe to say I'm faster than him at this early stage of the race. Overtake mode, rich revs, everything like that. No DRS just yet, but obviously that basically just evens it out a little bit more between the pairs there. And an identical machinery, it wasn't going to be much that he could really do about that one. He does try to stick it around the outside in towards the hairpin there, but we just hang him out to dry on the apex there. Get good traction on the exit, and now we are back up into P10 of the Chinese Grand Prix here. And like I said before this race, points, they are the aim as we head into round 3 of the season. But Charles Leclerc, a couple laps later, though, there was no point us trying to defend from the Ferrari man there. He's going to be able to have a look up the inside in towards the hairpin, and we're just going to, well, just give up the place, really. Like I said, no point doing anything against the Ferrari. Hoping that we can try and stick with him.
Stay with him. He might make a mistake. He could still regain the position.
So yeah, the team there going with the same sort of idea as myself. Just try and stick with him, use the slipstream and the DRS down at the back straightaway here, and just try to stick with him throughout the rest of the lap. But you always like to say that on these games and then forget just how OP things like the Ferrari and Mercedes are relative to, you know, something like a midfield car. You really just underestimate it at the end of the day there. Sergio Perez unfortunately falls to the wayside as well. But over the next couple of laps, the pit stop window starting to come into effect. We would slowly but surely close the gap to Daniel Ricciardo in the Renault car. And you just look at that parks it on the apex here. The super softs are really, really starting to go off towards the end of this stint. I should be calling them the super soft. What they call the C1 tyre for this Grand Prix? I'm pretty certain they are. Nonetheless, there Ricciardo plays it defensive though, where he was able to claim the race victory in the 2018 Grand Prix. We're going to go round the outside of him here in 2019 and move ourselves up now into P6 of this Grand Prix here. So a solid start to this race so far. You know, the strategy is looking alright, but we've got to remember we've got 2 pit stops to make, and by the looks of it, a lot of these guys potentially going to try and stretch the 1 stop. It'll be interesting to see how they fare with that one. And by lap 14, it's just been a very, very lonely few laps there, making a bit of a mistake as we come out onto the back straightaway there. The tyres were really, really going off at this stage of the stint there. You can see, we'll have a quick look at the graphics, 60-odd% all around there, and it's a bit like on an ice skating rink at this point. And around China, obviously such a high downforce orientated circuit, really, really struggling to try and get the power down towards the end of this stint. But we've made it to the halfway stage of this Grand Prix. In hindsight, therefore, we should have been able to take the mediums to the end there, but we'll see what we can try and muster up. And on to our first of 2 pit stops in this Grand Prix here. We're going to have to absolutely go all out throughout the second half of this Grand Prix here, and it's going to be interesting to see how we fare. Dive into the pit lane, try to get a nice, tidy pit stop. It's going to be a 3.0, a little bit of hold on the exit as well. They're not ideal. You can just see, having a look at the graphic, we're going to drop a couple of places there. Butler and Gasly. Weber, I think it's Weber, isn't it? Or something along those lines. I think that's as close as I'm going to be able to get it at the moment there. But we do drop back down up to P9 though, so that's worked out really, really well for myself here. And now we've just got to push through these next couple of laps here. We've got Max Verstappen right in front of me here, so maybe once again we had a bit of a rivalry at Australia, potentially better than Red Bull once again coming out. We're going to send it up the inside at the hairpin. We made the move work on his ex-teammate Ricciardo, and this time around up the inside we go, and now we are back up into P8 of this Grand Prix here. So better than Red Bull. Rich Energy going to be on all that hype train as well. They'll be retweeting that video for the next 2 weeks, and you love to see it here. But yeah, trying to close up now to V-Bar. Just look at how much we're going to be able to close up as we come up through the next couple of corners here. Like I said at the start, the soft tyres are just so much quicker than everything else around this place. This was really one of the only tracks, in my opinion, where you can sort of try and go for this strategy, because yeah, the tyre deg is just crazy around the Chinese Grand Prix. And look at the run as we come out onto the back straightaway here. We're already side by side before we've even got on to the straight there. Give him a bit of a squeeze, make him know, you know, we are making this move, and that he may as well just give up now as we're side by side. We've got the DRS, and we should now just be able to slip in front there. That Mercedes power unit still working very, very well, strapped to the back of the Force India there. But we get the car slowed down nice and tightly, and we now move ourselves up into P7 of this Grand Prix. We've got Butler and Pierre Gasly just a couple of seconds up the road. 1 lap later, we were already all over the back of Butler here. And just look at the run we were able to get over these guys. The soft tyres working so well there. It's passed it before the DRS zone this time around there. And yeah, really, really happy with that one. Is next up on the old hit list, our good old friend Pierre Gasly here, who's actually doing much better in the Red Bull car than he has been so far in real life. Through the final couple of corners, ready to start at lap 17. 11 laps to go of this Grand Prix, and we do need to get ahead of the Red Bull nice and quickly here, and this looks like a bit of a golden opportunity. We've got a monumental run in towards turn 1 there. He tries to give me the squeeze. No love lost between the pair of us once more there. Very, very robust move. I think I'm more than happy to hold my hands up and admit, but yeah, we do now get ourselves up into P5 of this Grand Prix, and now we've got a bit of clear air as well. We should be able to try and push out this advantage. Charles Leclerc a good, what, 9 seconds up the road at this stage of the Grand Prix, so hopefully we'll be able to try and, you know, bring ourselves up into that window a little bit more and just see what the pace is like over these next couple of laps here as we try to head on to lap 20 now. You can see the tyres really starting to go off at this stage of the stint, but obviously we will be diving it back into the pit lane, I think, at the end of this lap here. So we've only been able to do, what, 6 laps on this stint. We're going to have to do 8 on the second one here, so not ideal, but, you know, with lower fuel, everything like that, What we needed to do was just try and keep the tyres in a bit more of a good operating window here, temperature-wise. We'd struggled a little bit on that stint, and I was well aware as we head in towards the final stint of the day there. There goes Vibar once again, just in front of me, and hopefully, yeah, we shouldn't drop too many places, but, you know, also on the other hand, if we drop a few more, the pace delta in the early stages of this stint should be even more than they were throughout that second stint of the Grand Prix. So we're going to come back out in P11 here, just ahead, actually, of Butler on the medium compound tyres there, so that's worked out all right for myself. And now, yeah, we've got to try and close up this gap to both of the Red Bulls, the McLaren Sainz, and also Daniel Ricciardo further up the road, as well as potentially Grosjean. He might be a little bit too far away at this stage of the day there. Gasly and Sainz, though, lap 22, going at it as we come in towards turn 1. Look at that, Sainz just moves out in front of me there. I was going to try and swing it around the outside, but instead we make the switchback move right there. Sainz actually turns into me just a little bit there. We get a bit caught up between each other, and yeah, just get a little bit tangled, and once again, no love lost between myself and Carlos Sainz. Wheel banging on the way out as he tries to squeeze me out wide. And yeah, an interesting move. Certainly a lot more contact than I'd originally hoped for. And unfortunately, we had lost a bit of time to Pierre Gasly there. But it wouldn't take too long before we were all over the back of the Red Bull man once more here. He's all over the back of his, well, the replacement that he made at Red Bull there, Daniel Ricciardo. I'm sure there's a bit of a personal rivalry going on between these two as we get very, very close in towards turn 1 there. And once again, just the door gets slammed shut in front of me there, but we do once again slip up the inside. Are we going to be able to make this time work? We do give Daniel Ricciardo the room as he gets a good run through turn 2. Are we going to be able to make it work? Yes, we do get the power on the exit on those far superior soft compound tyres. And now we're going to be all over the back of Pierre Gasly. We're going to go for a bit of a Daniel Ricciardo dive bomb. He locks up luckily as well. A little bit of contact, but we do get the move. Up the inside we go, and now we're up into P8 of this Grand Prix once more there. Verstappen just a couple of seconds up the road with my teammate Grosjean all the way up in P6, having a fantastic day out at this stage of the race here. But lap 24, and Verstappen and myself have both really closed down that gap to my teammate here, Romain Grosjean. Still yet to score points in this 2019 season. Hopefully today can be the day he finally gets himself on to the board here. But yeah, 4 laps to go of this Grand Prix, and Verstappen is trying to line up my teammate for a move here. What is going to happen? We're just going to try and sit back and watch there with the slipstream, DRS, ERS, everything like that. Are we going to be able to go for any sort of move? Grosjean goes defensive there. They both squeeze me. I send it down the inside in a bit of a desperate, not really too sure what it was, attempt there in the end. And yeah, Grosjean and Verstappen both go back past me. They're side by side in towards the final corner. This is a fantastic battle between the pair of them there. Verstappen comes out on top. We get the run on my teammate Grosjean as well. Just look at the straight line speed as we come in towards come on there. Grosjean goes back up the inside. I'm going to try and follow him through. Verstappen, again, the AI slamming the door shut there. Really aggressive to see by them. We try to move back on the inside. Grosjean just cuts me off there as we go for the switchback move on the Red Bull car there. Are we going to be able to get the run? A huge moment on the exit of the corner there, but I think towards the outside we go there. Are we going to be able to do anything a little bit earlier on the brakes there? But Verstappen just gets squeezed out behind Grosjean there. We go around the outside, better than Red Bull. We go there, and that's just now us up into P7 of this Grand Prix. We need to get past Grosjean though, as well as the team just going on about tyres in the background. We need to try and keep these tyres in check, and so far this stint, it's been better than the first, but still not ideal as we head in towards the final few laps of this Grand Prix. Get a huge moment as we come out onto this back little straightaway here, setting ourselves up for the DRS zone. Are we going to be able to get any sort of run on Romain Grosjean? This could be absolutely critical in the late stages of this Grand Prix, focusing on reducing the wheel spin, and we seem to have got an okay run on the exit there, but we need to watch for Verstappen as well. Look at the run on Romain Grosjean. Nothing he can do this time round. And we now move ourselves up into P6 of the Grand Prix. Verstappen looks like he's going to try and line up the move as well there. In hindsight, I probably should have given my teammate the slipstream as well. But yeah, Verstappen follows me through. We're now up into P6 of this Grand Prix here. At lap 27 we head now. The tyres really starting to struggle here with just a lap to go over this Grand Prix. You can see, just if you have a look at the throttle and look at the wheel spin as we try to get out onto the back straight there. Verstappen surely going to be able to get a bit of a run on myself here. It looks like I've got a bit of a raw straight line speed advantage over the Red Bull, but as soon as the DRS is activated, around to the outside he goes there. We've got to try and keep the nose up the inside. Verstappen's so late on the brakes and turns in on me there a lot of contact made between the pair of us, and well, this race certainly, there's going to be a lot to buff out on this Haas chassis before we move into the next round of the season there. But into the final lap we go of this Grand Prix. What is going to happen between Verstappen and myself here? We're trying to hold on, do absolutely everything we can within our power to keep this P6 there, prove that Haas is better than Redbull here, and you can just see parking it on the apex as they're trying to get the power on the exit. Gasly looks like he's going to try and line up a move on his teammate as well there. Verstappen sends it up the inside. We've given the room, park it on the exit of the corner here, as we really just need to focus on reducing the wheel spin onto the back straightaway here. Just the back end skating everywhere. I know you can't quite see it because I was trying to be smooth with the steering, but yeah, the back end absolutely everywhere here. Verstappen though, he's going to get the run. Is he going to be able to do anything in towards the final couple of corners of this Grand Prix? We go defensive once again here. Verstappen, is he going to be able to try anything once again? Slightly later on the brakes, we park it, we lock up, we squeeze him out wide, and I think that is just about going to be it there. Verstappen actually gets really screwed by that one. Gasly gets up the inside as well there. Through the final corner we go though, and once again we have proven Haas is better than Red Bull. It's going to be P6 and a nice return back inside the top 10 there to finish off the Chinese Grand Prix. Really had to work for that one, but it was certainly an exciting race right towards the very end.
Ferrari have really pulled it out of the bag today. It's a great win. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, when you overtake that many people, I'd certainly hope you'd win the race. Their car was really effective in the slipstream here today, and the team will be pleased that they didn't cook the engine, given how long they were spending in the hot air behind other cars. They had a lot of confidence to push their tyres hard as well, especially going into the corners, which allowed for some late braking and some exciting passes.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Charles Leclerc assumes the lead in the standings after today's outstanding result. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
Well, my driver of the day has to be Charles Leclerc. He was unstoppable out on the track today, weaving through the competition with ease.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari continued to extend the gap at the top of the table. Meanwhile, good work from Racing Point this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. Well, that was certainly an incredible weekend of racing. Be sure to join myself and Ant for more exciting Formula One action soon.
So there we are then, guys, the end of the Chinese Grand Prix, and Charles Leclerc from 13th on the grid takes home the race victory there. Fantastic race result by him. Bottas and Hamilton hold on for P2 and P3 there. But yeah, Charles on the one-stop OP strategy. 6 seconds at the end of the day. It wasn't like he just held on either there in the end. Sebastian Vettel on the one-stop strategy. P4, 18 seconds back after starting in pole position. Not too sure how he ended up there. And then we had Weber in P5. Myself, Sick, Gasly, Verstappen, Devon Butler and Grosjean, my teammate, gets points on the board for the first time this season there, with Daniel Ricciardo, Albon, Sainz, Russell, Kvyat, Kubica, Raikkonen and Giovinazzi all making it through to the end of the Grand Prix there, with Lando Norris and Sergio Perez sadly not making it through at the end of the day there. But yeah, what a race that was at the end. I think that was a 5-car battle heading in towards the back straightaway there on the final lap, and happy only just that we were able to hold on there in the end. If we're having a look at the Drivers' World Championship, Charles Leclerc takes over the lead at the top there, 4 points clear of Sebastian Vettel, with Hamilton in P3 just 10 points back there. Bottas jumps Verstappen, myself and Weber jump Pierre Gasly, and also you can see Daniel Ricciardo jumps Sainz. Romain Grosjean jumps Lando Norris there to be the only driver so far on 1 World Championship point this season. Yeah, you can see still so far best of the rest, actually ahead of Gasly. We would love to see that one there as well, as Weber really doing a good job so far in the early stages of this season. In terms of the Constructors though, if I'm not mistaken, we are tied with Racing Point as well. They're on 24. So yeah, really solid start to the season. Trying to prove ourselves as best of the rest during Season 1. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video. Get yourself subscribed if you're new around here as well, and you do want to see more F1 2019 action. Next time out, we will be at the the Azerbaijan Grand Prix even, ready for round 4 of the season. But like always, I'm going to leave you guys with the little bit of the after-race cinematics formulated by the new F1 game.